Issues 4 and 5 continue the Cunlor Thorn storyline and are beautifully illustrated by artist Joseph Sanchez and signed by award-winning writer-creator Frank Zanca. And be one of the first to own the new Flibby plushie straight off the production line, as well as copies of the highly anticipated tabletop board game. Come join the Destiny Aurora universe today. Only on Kickstarter.
How we doing, everybody? Happy Saturday. We are here to discuss the Crimes of Grindelwald from Fantastic Beasts. It's another extension onto the Harry Potter universe, and I'd like to start by saying, yeah, I'm a fan of Harry Potter. I wouldn't say a huge fan, like some people are. You know, like some people are huge Star Wars fans, like me, but not. I'm not that into it. But however, when the first movie came out, I did read all the books, so you know I am a fan of that caliber. So I'm not just a casual, just go watch the movies type of Harry Potter fan. So this, of course, is the sequel to Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, starring Eddie Redmane in the first one. And then they bring back the whole cast for this one. So Queenie and Tina and Jacob, played by Dan Fogler. And I didn't realize it at the time, but Catherine Waterston, who plays Tina, was actually the lead in Alien Covenant. Although I didn't like Alien Covenant, I don't know how many people did, but I didn't realize that with her cropped hair and everything like that. I didn't realize that she was in that. But anyway, so the movie. I like to start too by saying Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. I did enjoy it. In fact, I just watched it again this past week. However, when we follow up into this new piece, I don't know if it's J. Rowling's writing, because writing a book is one thing. Writing a movie script is completely something else. And I think that she just had too much carte blanche with this movie. David Yates has already proved himself in this kind of universe. He did all the Deathly Hallows movies and Order of the Phoenix, and so he's no stranger. Although directing wise, it was a little bit different. He went for, especially in the beginning, I don't know why he did this. He did a lot of extreme close-ups. It was kind of strange. It was almost awkward. But it wasn't continuous. I think mostly in the beginning, when they were doing the scenes inside the ministries. But anyway, so this is my non-spoiler review. So I'm going to talk in generalities about the story and the plot and the characters, but that's it. So nothing that is going to ruin the movie for you in any way. However, this is probably the worst. I'm just telling you up front. This is probably the worst Harry Potter movie in the Harry Potter universe movie made to date. This was not a good film, and the reason being is the characters did not have the same appeal that they did for the first one. They were kind of lackluster in their scenes. Although this, I got to say, for Johnny Depp, this is probably the best I've seen him act in a long time. He wasn't over the top. He was literally right there. So for that, I got to give him props for that. I did enjoy him in this film, where I wasn't rolling my eyes at him going, oh, here we go again, doing the whole Jack Sparrow thing again. But he didn't. He played the straight man with this, and it really worked for him. His look's a little weird, of course, as you saw with the white hair and everything like that. It's a little bit, two different color eyes. It kind of throws you off a little bit. But his acting-wise, it was. I thought his acting was good. And of course, Dan Fogler coming back as Jacob. Every scene he's in, he steals. He is the shining light of this film. He's pretty much the only character that kind of stays as he was from the first film. And I enjoy that character. with him. The biggest problem is the writing. I could even get past that the characters kind of change. Although my favorite character from the first film, and I'm not going to say whether it's male or female, they destroyed in this film, and that really kind of ticked me off. That the way that this character did a complete friggin' right turn, U-turn, whatever kind of turn you're talking about, was just way too much to make that character believable in any way. Especially after seeing the first film. If we had not seen the first film, then it would be no big deal because it would be a new character. But we've already established this character, and it does not fall in line with their character from the first film. It was complete. I was like, what? And it's not just one scene. It's like continuous all the way through. I don't know. I don't understand the motivation of Rowling to do that. But also, Rowling, I just looked, and it's going to be, they're drawing this out to 5 films. So they're like, how can we make the most money out of this? Forget the story. Forget it. Just draw it out to make it a TV show. Because sometimes now TV shows are 6 episodes. So this is basically a big, fat TV show drawn up over, I don't know how many years. But even if it's 5 years. It's crazy. So the story suffered. I mean, yes, Marvel draws stuff out too for 10 years. But, each movie is, it has a pace to it. This pacing was destructive to the film. We also have Credence come back, who died in the first film, who played by Ezra Miller, who very badly played the Flash in Justice League. But I think that he's not playing the Flash now because he's committed to doing these 5 films for Fantastic Beasts, which is fine by me. He does a good job here. I have no problem with his role in either film. We also bring in a sidekick for him named Nagini, played by Claudia Kim, who she was in Avengers. She played Dr. Cho in Ultron. We do bring in a few new characters. Jude Law as Dumbledore, okay with it. He plays the same role he always plays. And Redmane does a good job again. I mean, his character is pretty similar too, although, again, I didn't feel like I did in the first film. Where this guy was kind of lost, trying to find the animals that he cared so much about. And here the animals are, we're just going to throw in this backdrop. It's a cute little animal or whatever. And it just doesn't make any sense for the film except for the fact that he's there. But the plot line is literally all over the place. I mean, there's no rhyme or reason to the plot.
Grindelwald wants to see that piece destroyed.
You want me to hunt him down? To kill him? Dumbledore, why can't you go?
I cannot move against Grindelwald. It has to be you.
And, we're supposed to feel for Grindelwald and his followers, like we're supposed to identify with them and stuff like that. But then they do stuff that's completely villain-centric. There's no way that you can identify with these people because they're doing stuff that's just so evil. And without motivation. So their main plot, I could tell you, has very good motivation. But the other stuff that they do around it doesn't make it where we care one way or the other about these people. And the heroes aren't doing really enough that we're rooting for them either. So you just have this very meh movie where we're going to throw in special effects of the wizarding thing, but we've already seen, all of this. So there's really nothing special about all these effects and these creatures and everything else, like the house elves are back and stuff like that. So we've already seen all of it. But the other thing that kind of really confused me when you see it, if you give make a comment, is that they were not only this plot, but any plot of any Harry Potter film is that the Muggles are not supposed to see magic, right? It's supposed to be a secret. They go into this other dimension. I don't know how to say it, but it is a way, but yet people are kind of awed by magic there. I was confused by all that. Were they still on this plane of existence? Were they in a different plane of existence? I was totally confused, but they were using magic rampantly, and even during some of the Muggle scenes, they were also using magic. I don't know. I was really kind of confused by it. Maybe I missed something. I don't know. But anyway, I was very confused by that, and I was, and again, the plot just did this. There was just no speed to this plot whatsoever because of the fact that they're drawing it out. Nothing really happens in this film. There's like maybe 2 pieces of information for us to move on after all this. Maybe 3, 4. But there's only a few scenes that are important to have in the film. The rest of the time we're just watching people interact, which is fine as long as it takes the story someplace. And when it was getting to the point of 2 hours, I was like, oh, they're continuing it because there's no way to wrap anything up at this point. And sure enough, it just ends like Lord of the Rings. Just doesn't do anything. But you can look online and you'll see that they were doing 5. And I have no doubt this is going to make money because the budget was $200 million. They were already up to $253 million. They did $62 million this weekend so far, and then 191 internationally. So they're at $253 million on opening weekend. So there's no doubt that this is $500 million or more. Because whatever they do the first weekend, you basically double it for the run. And that doesn't include DVD sales and stuff like that. So at 200 million, you multiply it times 2.3, and that's the derivative you use. So that's basically $250 million. So anything they make after this weekend is gravy. But anyway, so I would say that I give this 6.5. I walked out feeling nothing. And then after that, I went to see Instant Family. And I don't think there was a dry eye in that entire film by the time it ended. So that was a very emotional film, and I saw that after Crimes of Grindelwald, which it gave me a comparison of the fact that I felt absolutely nothing for the film. In fact, there were some young people walking out behind me, and they were like, yeah, that plot was all over the place. And if they're saying it, then, me being more critical, I don't... It's got to be a general consensus, because I also looked at Rotten Tomatoes, and it's doing 36%. So really nobody is impressed with this film. So I really hope that J.K. Rowling takes a page out of this and maybe sits with somebody that has done more writing for screen. Because even some of the other Harry Potter films, after reading the book, I could say, oh, they took that out. Actually, thank God, So I think that she just poured the kitchen sink into this because she has so much time to develop everything over 5 films that she didn't care about the pacing, and they gave her carte blanche. You could do whatever you want. Oh, here's the script. Okay, we'll shoot it. But she's already proven that it's going to make money. So they're like, whatever. But I hope that she listens to some of the fans here and realizes that it needs to take a step up. in the next pieces. So anyway, that's my review. Not very impressed with it, and of course we have Thanksgiving next week. And check out my Kickstarter too, where I did the little thing at the beginning of this video for Destiny Aurora. We're about over halfway to our goal, with a couple more weeks left. And then of course we have Thanksgiving coming up, and I think we have some Thanksgiving movies as well. All right, have a great week. Subscribe, check out my Kickstarter at Destiny Aurora, and I will talk to you guys all soon. All right, have a good one. Bye.